What is up, y'all? Welcome to a new episode of DMac Pods. I am joined once again by my good friend Myles, and we're going to celebrate a little because his episode was released 6 days ago, as of right now, or seven, because last Tuesday, but later in the day. So on YouTube it says 6 days ago, and it is now our most viewed video.
It's crazy.
So congratulations, Myles.
Thank you.
Honestly, I don't think either me nor you know how that happened.
No idea.
Because I think Myles just sent it to his dad,
Just
right?
both parents. That's
Both
it.
parents, yep. And all I did was post on the A&M story, which
yeah,
I always do,
Right.
right? So I have no idea how this worked out, but I think it's pretty hilarious. But yeah, now we're here, part two, because we were cut short last time.
we were. Yeah.
And also another thing I want to bring up, I think that episode might be my shortest episode.
Really? It was like 45 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
If it's not it might be the second shortest, but it's definitely down there in terms of length, and it's now the most viewed. So congratulations, Myles, and thank you for coming back. All right, so we just got done with finals. How did that feel?
Not too bad, honestly. I mean, for us, we didn't have like that many finals, and
Yeah,
a lot of them were online.
yeah.
But-
I got bailed out in stats.
Yeah.
You saw that?
Mm-hmm.
For those of you who don't know, the A range actually got brought down to 86, between an 86 and 100.
Yeah.
I feel like I've actually been really lucky. Like especially in like life, but especially with school stuff.
I feel like every semester it's kind of like just worked out.
Yeah, it's worked out good because this semester I was focused on so many other things other than school, and yet I'm still probably going to pull out a 4.0, which is kind of insane.
Yeah.
Because like looking at it right now, I don't think I'm deserving of one. Even though I might just be hard on myself, but it's just one of those things. It worked out, and yeah. So let's see. Want to talk about the app a little, or I mean, we haven't really progressed since last time because of finals.
Yeah.
But we can talk about features that we're looking to implement.
Oh, some of the planned features. We can.
Some of the planned features.
Okay.
So one that I don't think was mentioned. Wait, do you think we should disclose this? It's a great question. Maybe not.
We can save it for another time.
Yeah, once it's actually implemented.
Yeah. Once we actually start working on some of this stuff.
Yeah, just know. I want y'all to know that Zophis.ai has some huge things coming up.
Oh yeah,
and
a lot of different things.
Pretty excited about it. Also want to say that I've been made the vice president of Aggie Entrepreneurs.
Oh, officially now?
Officially,
nice. Congrats.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna be planning over the break, and we're gonna have a bunch of cool events next year. I feel like we're in like a church right now, and when they do all the advertisements at the begining, like they're talking about all the
announcements.
Yeah, this feels like the announcement segment. But now I want to get table kind of shook. Now I want to get into some of the more interesting things of life.
All right.
So I want to start on the topic of AI, and kind of go into the philosophy of that.
Sure.
So my first question, straight out of left field, what do you think about the AI girlfriend?
The AI girlfriend.
Or AI boyfriend or girlfriend, whatever.
I mean, I think it's probably terrible.
Do you think we're far from that, though?
Like, well, to a certain extent, there's certain, like, things that people will actually do that, right? With, I mean, like a actual, like robot kind of thing, or just like, I think we're pretty far from that, probably within the next maybe decade or so, I'd say. But, I mean, in terms of, like, speech capabilities and, like, what it can output, I think it's pretty close.
Yeah. What year do you think will be the first like AI marriage? I honestly think that's coming in the next 5 years.
I think that's likely. I mean, there's been people that even like, wasn't there something in like Japan? Did you see this? Like where a guy like married some, it was like some like Japanese like chatbot thing or something. Have you seen that before?
No, I did not.
Or, I don't know. It was a while ago, like maybe a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
There was some Japanese guy that like married some sort of like program or something. Like it was really bizarre. Yeah.
Dang. And did you hear about the kid? I think it was in the UK, or it might have been here. That was talking to a chatbot and like fell in love, and it's actually kind of haunting. Like it was like a 14 or 15-year-old kid. I'm not gonna say the word on here because it could get flagged, but he like disconnected from the server, so to speak.
I see. Yeah.
And because of this bot, and like the last messages are pretty crazy. Like the bot was Daenerys from Game of Thrones.
Oh.
Do you know who that is? The blonde girl?
Yeah.
And he was talking to her, I guess, and I guess the AI bot said, "Come home." Like that was the last chat. Is the AI bot said like, "Come home." I mean, it was like a role play bot, so I don't think it was in the wrong. It said, "Come home," and he said, "I'm on my way."
Oh my goodness.
And then that was the last thing.
Wow.
That is insane.
Yeah, for children especially, like if they can't really comprehend like that this is not real and it's just like it can definitely like influence them and make them do certain things, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the problem with how fast technology is advancing, and even if like you look at how technology just advanced throughout the 1800s, like the human body isn't, I guess, on pace to adapt with it. You know what I mean? Like we still have primal minds.
For sure.
You know, and so the problem is that technology is able to advance so much further than our own like brains, and so it can target on some of our primal things, even though like it may not be beneficial, right? Because from an evolutionary standpoint, everything that we do, like all of our inclinations, right, especially with hormones and stuff, that came up from a survival instinct. But now we can't necessarily adapt to that because it's like it's targeting our natural instincts, even though it's a harmful thing. You know what I mean? Like dopamine's supposed to be released when you do something hard or when you feel good, right?
But now it's easy to get.
Now it's very
super easy to get,
right?
Yeah.
And dopamine is it's basically like a mechanism for survival. You know, it's like good job, keep doing what you're doing. But now we have our phones and stuff, and so it's so accessible. Dopamine's actually becoming harmful to us.
Yeah.
And so because evolution takes so much longer than how technology advances, our brains are not able to keep up with that. And I think that could be like a downfall of humanity.
Well, I mean, even right now, it's like clearly a downfall. And I think in terms of like people's productivity and just like people living their lives, you know, they just sit there, you know, like doom scrolling on their phone, just getting those quick dopamine hits one after another, you know, just keep on going. And instead of doing something meaningful, you know.
I'm one of those people.
I get that sometimes too.
I'm one of those people.
I feel like that's just everyone. It's just so easy. It's just so like
I feel like for me it's bad because I'll go delete social media and then somehow it's back on my phone. Like I won't remember. Like I might install it to check one thing or another, and then next thing I know I'm swiping through reels and I'm like, this is not supposed to be on my phone. It's getting bad, but I mean another reason is like when I delete my Instagram and TikTok is also when I like need to start posting on Instagram and TikTok, like in terms of this podcast and stuff. And so by needing to post, I have to go back on the app, right?
Yeah.
And do that, which, by the way, Zophis AI is going to have a feature where you don't need a social media app and you can post on it. But
all right.
I mean, we can cut that out.
Nah,
that's
we
fine.
can keep it in.
That's fine. Because it's about to be implemented anyway.
That's true.
Yeah, we're pretty close to it. But I just wanted to shout that out, I think.
No,
Um,
the thing too with like Instagram, because like I don't have an Instagram account, is like, or the app, is
That's
like if you
good.
try to go on Instagram on the like website, they're like, oh, download the app.
Yeah.
They like block you if you watch like 2 posts.
Yeah.
It's just like it pops up screen and you can't even like use it anymore.
Well,
Which is
if you keep swiping, you can see the rest. Actually, you just can't see that one.
yeah. Oh, I guess that's true. But they try to make it
Yeah,
like hard for you. Like I deleted YouTube too. Like YouTube for me was my big
You
time
deleted
waster.
YouTube.
Yeah, I don't have
Wow.
YouTube anymore. I just like if I need YouTube, I just like search it up on
YouTube.com.
yeah. Yep.
That's actually a really good idea because every time I delete all of my social medias, YouTube is the one that stays,
Oh.
and like my time just ends up going to that. You know, I mean, obviously some of the time goes to other stuff.
Yeah.
But my time ends up going to that.
Do you set the timers on your phone for like
No.
the apps?
No, they don't work. See,
They don't
on
work for
me,
you?
it doesn't work because I know the password.
Yeah.
So as soon as it hits, I extend it, and I'll just get annoyed from extending it, and so I'll just like turn it off. So
Yeah.
it never works. One thing that worked for a little, I remember, was I actually, so on Apple you can program pretty easily.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had it to where anytime I opened a social media, it would take me to a note in my notes app, which had like all my goals and stuff.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it was good, but it didn't really stop
Didn't
me. I
stick?
just turned it off.
Uh,
See,
yeah.
that's why I have to just straight up like delete it, because like it's like a habit. I'll scroll like through my phone all the way to where the app is and just click on it automatically.
Yeah.
And I remember last spring, I'm probably going to do this again this spring, because last spring, I think I was at the best physically and mentally like I ever was. And I did like a 30-day hard challenge, right?
Yeah.
So I was on carnivore diet.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Carnivore, that one was hard. Carnivore diet is not for the weak.
Yeah.
I allowed sour cream for myself, but that's about it. Because it was cow product, so kind of cheated, kind of did cheese too, but like no carbs really.
Right.
Um,
I mean, it's basically like a keto kind of.
yeah,
Just because you're only eating meat, no carbs.
I mean, I remember at one point I allowed sauerkraut.
Okay.
That was like it. I don't know why sauerkraut, but I was like, it's like I probably won't eat too much of it, but I was like, I need like some kind of carbs, you know, like. 2 weeks, 3 weeks in, it was rough. But no, the carnivore diet, it'll change you. And I actually did a lot of things like at once because I wanted to reconstruct myself. So I wanted to, the way I was thinking of it is like, you don't want to dip your toe in the water. You need to throw yourself in the deep end. So I got rid of all social media. I did not allow myself to play any video games. Carnivore diet, 6 a.m. gym every day, and it was just like working on business, right? But making sure I read books. No TV either. Actually, I think I allowed a little TV.
Yeah, the only thing like with that is just like going so suddenly into it. It's like not as sustainable, you know, if you did it more slowly or like kept in a couple things like, you know, watching TV like once a week or something. I don't know.
I mean, I think everyone's a little different. Like I feel like for me, it needs to be a drastic change because like if you slowly do it, you'll just slowly go back. You know what I mean?
But
it's
oh no, you go ahead. Keep it going.
I was gonna say like I think of a lot of things in analogies, and for me, it's like, let's say that you want to learn how to swim, right? And you stay in the shallow end, and you want to go to the deep end, but you're like scared, so you swim a little, and then you always come back. Swim a little, and always come back. For me, it's like, well, if I want to learn how to swim, I'm gonna learn how to swim like a baby does.
Yeah.
And they just throw a baby
in the water.
Exactly. Yeah. So for me, it's like sink or swim. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I feel like I wanted to create. So for me, it was actually kind of crazy how I came to this. So, when I first like started it, the first 3 days were the most brutal because it was just me and my thoughts.
Yeah, like do you want to do this or?
Well, not only that, I was on like a journey to reconstruct myself, right? So for me, it was more like, what do you want from life? You know, it was like just deep self-reflecting, right? And so the conclusion I came to is, if I want to achieve the things that I want to achieve, I have to become the person to achieve those things. And in my mind, the person who achieves those things didn't do this, that, or that, or that, or that. You know what I mean? Like, being the best version of yourself, ironically, is more about saying no than about saying yes.
Like saying no to like,
things, you know?
things, temptations.
Exactly, exactly. But to me, I had like that perfect image, and so I was like, there's no need to just ease into it, because I know I may go back, right? It's like going back to the social media stuff on my phone, you know, clicking on it and then uninstalling it and then somehow it being it back on my phone, right?
Right. Yeah.
So I was like, I just need to go in the deep end. I feel like it's easier to cut off like a lot of things at once rather than one at a time, because then it's like you only have to do it once. But if you slowly progress, it's like you're cutting off something each time, and it feels like it's a lot more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, anyways, those first 3 days, I felt like Aaron Rodgers in his little den. Have you heard of that story?
No.
I think it was before last season. Aaron Rodgers went into, he had like, I guess, a vacation home or something. And he like locked himself in the basement. And so he was in pitch black for 3 days.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's crazy.
That's super crazy. It was like, that was him meditating and getting ready for the season.
Jeez. Isn't that like something like that? That's like a torture method.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I would not.
Yeah.
I would not want to be in there. But Aaron Rodgers is also a very interesting guy. So, yeah, I don't know. That's how those first 3 days felt, because it was just a lot of like self-reflecting. That's the hardest part. Like the carnivore you can get over, the no games you can get over, because you just find other things to fill those.
Right.
But the self-reflecting was like really introspective, so to speak. So I think this upcoming spring, especially if I want to go to nationals, I need to get back in that mindset, you know.
I want to ask you about the carnivore diet a little bit.
Yeah.
What was the like? How much did you spend on groceries a week for like just carnivore, like just meat kind of stuff? I'm curious to know.
Honestly, I would say it was about as expensive as my regular
Really?
like grocery haul is. Yeah.
Because I've thought about it and I'm like, I wonder, like, it would probably cost a lot more because you're just like buying a lot of meat.
Nah, I don't think so. Like in my current grocery thing, honestly, like if I was to just buy chicken and rice, right? Because you get so much extra stuff, right? You get like maybe some chips and like some rice cakes, desserts, and then you get perishables, right? Vegetables last a lot shorter than meats really do. Or I'd say no. It depends.
With meats, you can freeze them though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. And honestly, it wasn't bad. You know, you can get chicken sub $3 a pound, right? That's not bad. Pork, also another good one. What else is there? Beef. Beef is pretty good. Shrimp's usually like a good deal. H-E-B has some pretty good deals. Around $5 a pound, I think, which is not bad for shrimp. You could do tuna. I got sick of tuna. I ate so much tuna.
Canned tuna or
fresh? like the packaged.
Oh.
So it's not canned, but it's like the H-E-B packs.
Yeah, I've never even tried those. I feel like I wouldn't like them.
They're not bad. They're not bad
until you eat them every day.
Yeah, but that was like my midday snack was the tuna stuff. And then I would get huge tubs of sour cream. Which honestly is not a bad price either. I didn't allow milk though.
Really?
Surprisingly, yeah. I allowed sour cream, not milk.
What's the rationale behind that?
So when you're doing the carnivore diet, you want to limit your carbs. And so sour cream actually has low carbs because I think it's like low in lactose.
Oh, okay.
I think lactose is like milk sugar, and so that's where a lot of carbs come from.
Mm.
And so milk had like 9 to 10 grams of carbs per serving, but sour cream, like the regular version, the non-fat actually has more carbs, which
Okay.
I mean makes sense. But
Yeah.
the regular version, it was only like I think it's between like 1.5 and 3,
Okay.
somewhere in that. So it's not bad at all,
Mm.
right? So I'd get, and I didn't allow condiments.
Oh,
I allowed
really?
hot sauce.
Hot sauce.
I'm a huge condiments guy, so like
I know you are.
yeah,
I know you love your ranch.
Oh, I make ranch.
I know you make your ranch.
I need to start a ranch brand one day actually, probably will. No, but fun fact about ranch: did you know that in stores, ranch can't have any dairy in it?
Really? What?
Yeah, in groceries. That's why it's on the shelf and not on the fridge.
Oh yeah,
except
that's true.
except like
That's
if
true.
HEB makes it, it's a little different.
Oh yeah,
but-
they have like their own like bottles too.
yeah,
Sometimes
but
too.
honestly, those are pretty. I've had them; they're pretty bad.
Yeah.
If y'all want to make ranch, quick recipe. You go cup of mayo, half a cup of sour cream, half a cup of buttermilk, and a seasoning, HEB or any kind of brand Hidden Valley ranch seasoning packet. Mix it. It's amazing. It's great. It's great. But let's get back on track
Sure.
instead of the ranch. But anyways, yeah. So sour cream's like the only I allowed sriracha and Frank's Red Hot because they're like low calorie.
Yeah, they're really low calorie.
Really
like
low calorie,
Zero, pretty
so I
much.
was fine with that. And honestly, I saw results within my first week
Wow.
because you're never bloated. So
Mm,
I was honestly like shredded within the first week,
Mm.
which was crazy because I started it because I thought I'd like fattened up a bit over the break, but in reality, it was just like a bunch of bloat.
Hmm.
And I also started kickboxing
Oh right.
when all of this started too.
Was that last semester or was it
Yeah,
fall?
spring.
Oh, it was. Spring.
Yeah, it was
okay.
spring.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's a bunch of things that I stopped and started doing because I just wanted to like change and just prove to myself and stuff. But yeah, that's the carnivore diet. Ham's also another good one.
Ham. Yeah.
I'd recommend ham. If you get cheese, don't get sliced cheese. Get the blocks.
Oh okay.
Get the blocks because those are lower carb.
I'll have to think about trying it because.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I probably won't go. I don't know, cause I'm gonna be cutting over break. So
Yeah.
I don't know if I should start carnivore over break or just do like
Well,
a
the
less
problem
harsh diet.
the problem with doing over break is you got like your Christmas, your New Year's
Yeah.
with family.
Yeah,
It's kind of hard to start it
no,
then.
it is. It is. I mean, I'll probably just eat light during the break,
Yeah.
just take it easy. But when I get back, it's
I might try that actually. I feel like
40% chance of starting carnivore.
40%.
It's hard. It's see the thing is like it's not bad after a week or two.
Yeah, you get used to it a little
You
bit.
get used to it a little bit, but then your friends call you up and they're like, "Hey, we're about to go eat dinner. Do you want to come with us?"
Yeah,
And you're like, "Sure, I won't eat."
yeah. That's
and
the
then you
only.
don't eat, but it happens a couple times.
Yeah,
then
yeah.
you
That's
give in.
that's like the big problem with like doing it in college because everyone wants to go out and like do something, and then you're sitting there and you're like, you're the only one not participating and like ordering whatever, and they're all eating a burger or whatever, and then you're like, oh man, I can't do it.
Dude, I remember. Oh my gosh! So, I actually managed to eat out like once or twice, like barbecue places. You can still eat out on carnivore. You just got to eat carnivore. So like
Yeah,
barbecue place isn't a bad place to go eat out. And I remember that happened once or twice, but I remember like a month in. So no, nothing. A month in, I had a Whataburger.
Oh.
I felt so guilty. Like I actually felt bad. Like the next morning when I woke up, I was like, I ate Whataburger last night. And so I was sitting there like contemplating everything. You know, I was like maybe I'm not built for it or whatever, but like it was a good Whataburger. Oh my gosh. That's the best Whataburger I've ever had.
Oh yeah.
Is
After
when
a month of no carbs pretty
Yeah.
much, and just straight up meat.
Yeah. So a month in, that happened. And then I would allow myself to actually like have something like that once a week.
Okay.
But then slowly,
You went back.
yeah, you start returning.
Yeah, right.
You know.
Yeah.
But honestly, if I go this time around, I feel like I might start carnivore, but maybe just keep it like no eating out for 180 days or something.
Mm.
Just something like that. And then just keep it super lean, but maybe start carnivore first month and then
Kind of
Kinda
introduce
ease.
stuff and
yeah.
back into the diet. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's about 10, 15 minutes on carnivore diet right there.
Oh.
It's pretty good. But I found it from Joe Rogan.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
big into that. Also,
Yeah.
like Jordan Peterson too. I
Really?
know. Yeah, he only eats like beef.
Really?
That's it. Yeah.
Is he trying to fight back against the vegans?
No, he apparently had a bunch of like autoimmune disorders or something, and he blames it on like a lot of different like grains and like things like that.
Yeah.
So he did like an elimination kind of diet, you know, and it kind of just ended up being just beef. And that's like
Really?
all he eats. Yeah.
That's funny. Dude, you know, like the food system is horrible right now,
Oh yeah.
especially with all the chemicals that go into it.
And it's kind of finally becoming a little bit more mainstream because of
Oh,
RFK.
Yeah.
Like I've been hearing about that for the past like 2 years or so, but like all of a sudden these past like 5-6 months with like RFK being part of like now like the Trump administration and all this, like they're actually like hearing about it. Like even my dad's talking about it, about like
Yeah.
how bad some of these like different additives to our foods are and all this stuff. And
I remember when I started carnivore, I actually I stopped buying the small water bottles and started getting like the big water chugs cuz I mean, I didn't have like a Berea or anything.
no.
Also, I don't really like the tap water,
Oh yeah,
especially with the
the water here is pretty bad.
yeah.
It's tastes pretty
So
bad.
so I'd get some of the big like jugs.
Uh-huh.
That way I don't consume as much
Like microplastics.
yeah, microplastics as if it was like a small water bottle.
Hmm.
And so dude, there's a whole thing with phthalates and stuff. Have you heard of phthalates?
I don't think so. No.
That's like the microplastics that we eat. And so
Okay.
if you have a plastic container, never heat it up.
Oh yeah.
Never heat it up with food. I'm all glass now.
Me too, actually. For like meal prep, I do all glass.
Yeah. And for
Yeah.
my cups, all like ceramic mugs.
Yeah. And I use like a metal water bottle, aluminum. You know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm pretty much mostly no more plastic with food and water.
Oh,
pretty much.
you can't get rid of plastic in food.
Well, you can't get rid of it, but in terms of like the containers and stuff,
Yeah,
I pretty much
yeah.
stopped all that.
I mean the containers, yeah, but like the problem is so the phthalates get into your food when it heats because it's something to do with the bond it has.
It breaks down the plastic somehow.
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah.
And so the problem is even though we may try to mitigate as much as we can by doing all this stuff,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, in these huge 18-wheelers, there's a bunch of produce in plastic boxes or bags
Yeah.
in a very hot truck, especially during the summer
Mm-hmm.
in Texas.
Oh yeah.
It's just microwaving it into the food, and you can do everything in your power, and you won't be able to do nothing.
Just become a farmer.
Yeah, just become a farmer. You know the smartest guy in the world's a farmer?
Oh, he was like some guy. He graduated college at like super young age, and he just like
Yeah.
went on and just kind of left all of that stuff. Just,
All of society. He's just chilling.
I've heard about that story. Yeah.
Now, I watched an interview of his. It was pretty interesting, because he does like all these physics theories and stuff.
Yeah.
But he's like out in the middle of nowhere. He just reads books and does this. And actually, I think a guest. I think the episode might actually come out today. Not ours, but the guest that I had previously.
Mhm.
And I think I talked to him a little about it too. I don't know. I keep mentioning the smartest man in the world. But I mean, it's pretty interesting because like you'd think the smartest man in the world might, start his own business or do this and that. But,
Right.
The most rational decision he's come to is
Just separate himself.
living on a farm in the middle of nowhere. I don't know. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
You know, maybe we can learn some things from that guy.
Yeah. I wonder what like what he ended up going through. Like, was it that he felt like he did everything that he wanted to do and just like wanted to retire from like doing anything like that and just go to like a very simple life? Like after doing so much complex stuff, he just wants to like move away from that.
That's a good question.
I wonder.
Honestly, so I didn't watch the entire interview. I remember at one point his professors didn't like him. He had a bad college experience. Because he would like question them why the things were done the way they were done,
Mm-hmm.
and then he also like proposed different ways, and they would dismiss him.
Right.
Ironically, they called him dumb, which I find to be pretty funny.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess at the time they didn't know he was the smartest man in the world because it's pretty interesting. Do you know when IQ tests came around?
No, I really don't. I'd imagine they've been around for like probably at least our parents' lifetime.
Yeah. Do you understand like IQ results?
Isn't it like a normally distributed?
Yeah, like I think like 100 is like average.
Yeah, it's
right?
average is median. Like it's a bell curve, right?
Yeah,
I think
it's
so.
a bell curve.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting. I'm surprised that jobs don't do IQ tests.
Well, I'm not sure. Well, I haven't really like done much research onto that, but I'm not sure how like accurate they are.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think they necessarily for like a job.
Yeah,
IQ doesn't necessarily like
correlate.
equate to like how good you are at your job.
Yeah, that's true.
Same way like having like a college degree doesn't really anymore, at least.
Yeah.
It's more about like if you know how to do the work rather than maybe how smart you are always.
I think, yeah, I mean, that's a good point because hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
Yeah.
I would say that too. I think I saw something like X, the Elon Musk's company. I think they have an IQ test in their hiring process.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure. I don't want to be misquoted here, but I think I saw something like that, which I mean, wouldn't surprise me seeing it's Elon Musk because he's always known for just doing things out of the norm.
Yeah. I've actually taken for a couple like different companies. I've done some weird IQ-esque type like problems kind of thing. I don't know if you've ever gotten these from like some companies like online.
I've gotten the games.
Yeah, like the games. Those are a little bit kind of like IQ-esque a little bit.
Yeah.
Or so like sometimes it's like reaction speed, but that's kind of also training or testing your ability to like think on your feet, and be responsive. And I think that kind of
I wonder how they rank those. Do you think they just have like so when people apply, do you think they just have like a leaderboard and whoever's at like the top of that game, their name's up there and
maybe they do. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know how they take that into the overall process. Like, how do you quantify that?
Yeah, and how much do they weight that over like your programming skills and the other parts of the interview? I have no idea.
I doubt it's not much. I bet you it's not that much.
Yeah.
It could be. It could be.
I mean, I've even had some where like it's like a puzzle with like addition and multiplication, and so like those are really like kind of IQ kind of things. That was for like a quant company, and it's like, so that's kind of like checking for how smart is this guy, or like how much can they like think quickly, right on the spot and like adapt to something, which is pretty different than any other interview I've ever done before.
I think also one thing I've noticed is I think IQ tests are kind of different across like countries' languages.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I remember, I don't know why, but so Ethan, me and him did an IQ test, right?
Oh, by the way, Ethan is one of our friends, and he's from China, so
Yeah.
English is not his first language.
Yeah,
That's
English is
yeah.
not his first language. We did one, and so in the English one, I beat him. But when we went, he like pulled up a Chinese IQ test, and I couldn't understand like anything. I'm not even saying like language barrier wise,
Mm.
but just the patterns to me were like non-coherent either, which was kind of weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I couldn't understand any of the patterns.
Really?
Which I don't know if that's just a skill issue on my part or if like different countries are like known to perceive like different shapes and objects and stuff, and maybe that influences,
It
or
could
it
be.
could be a cultural. I don't know.
I don't
Or
know
maybe
either.
maybe I'm just horrible at it. You know.
You know, I don't know. I mean, I don't know exactly about like IQ, but I definitely know like in Asian countries, because you know their languages are like tonal, so like they can say the same like word but with like different pronunciation, and it'll mean like something completely different, right?
Yeah.
Like because of that, like people in like Asia, they have like better like pitch, like they can understand like hear pitch better than us. Like they can distinguish like
Yeah.
between different like notes and different like hertz, like frequencies and stuff better than like we can because of that. So I wonder if there's something like that related to culture or even the language somehow.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I actually had no idea of that. Huh. That's actually pretty interesting.
Yeah. There were
That
some studies on that before.
that brings me to the question of, what do you think's more important, nature or nurture? Like in someone's potential.
Yeah. That's a good question. I think overall I'd say probably nurture is probably like a the biggest factor. Um like when you look at like the results of someone that grows up in like a more um influential like town or affluent town, you know, compared to like someone that grows up like in the inner city.
Mm-hmm.
Like the results are like pretty obvious. Like the people from the affluent places are gonna like do better, and that's not because like of genetics or because of like their natural disposition. It's because of like the way they were brought up and the environment they grew up in. You know.
Yeah. I actually, on me, like, I think the split's like 70-30.
Yeah,
70
that
in
sounds about
favor
right.
of nurture though.
Yeah.
Because I actually think I wouldn't even necessarily say how you're raised, because I feel like a lot of people can be raised the same way and still end up drastically different.
Yeah. What I was gonna say was like I think back to like my childhood and like definitely if it was someone else they would respond to like my parents parenting or my environment very differently than I would, you know. So that's definitely nature. That's
Yeah.
definitely like how you're just inherently your personality is. But um, I still think nurture overall is probably
Yeah.
bigger.
Well, what I was gonna get at is like I don't honestly I don't think the way we're raised impacts us as much as the environment we're raised in.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I feel like some person, like let's say me or you, right? I feel like our parents could have raised us differently, but we wouldn't drastically be different from what we are right now.
Mm, yeah.
And I think like the environment you're in actually has a lot more um, influence than the actual like nurture part, so to speak. Like for me, it'd be nature or environment, not nature or nurture. And that's just kind of, I don't know, my outlook on it. Because I think your environment, like what you're around,
and who you're around.
exactly, influences you a lot more than how people interact, so to speak.
Yeah. I think that makes sense.
Because I feel like a lot of the things you learn as a kid, especially young, is young or like early on is mostly subconscious. And when you're
Yeah.
learning like subconsciously, it's from the things you see, not like the way. I don't know. I mean, obviously, it's not like one or the other. There's weights to all of this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can also say like the nurture part of like your parents. You know,
Yeah.
a big part of that is them making sure you're like in an environment that you grew up well in or whatever. You know.
Yeah.
So
No, there's a lot of factors. We need to create a linear regression model here.
yeah.
Stats 212. Dude, honestly, I feel like Stats 212 was like machine learning 101.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean,
That's what it
it's
felt
kind of
like.
like it feels like almost like a prereq, even though it's
Yeah.
not, but
It should be.
yeah.
Because I think linear regression is pretty important, especially for machine learning.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. The way they set up the prereqs for machine learning here is just because that class, like so many different majors can take it. Like CS can take it, computer engineering, stats majors, even electrical engineering majors can take it. They kind of set up like the prereqs so that like no matter like which of those four majors because like not every major takes stats, you can like take machine learning,
Yeah.
which is I mean, I understand why they're like trying to do that to get more people to like learn about that thing, but I feel like yeah, you would definitely get a better understanding if you took more stats beforehand.
You think now that we're on the topic of majors, do you think comp sci majors are cooked?
No, I don't think so. No, I mean, compared to like 4 years ago, like it's definitely the job market right now is like in a really bad place compared to before.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're like you're like screwed if you're a comp sci major. Like I think it's still a valuable degree for sure. I think it's less valuable than it has been in the past.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate for us. But I think you can still leverage it like really well if you know what you're doing and like you take advantage of like all the opportunities you have while you're in school to like do really well in your career.
Have you seen all the memes like on Instagram? Oh, you don't
Not on
have
Instagram, but
Instagram. Yeah.
But like on like something like Reddit or something, yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen like
It's hilarious. It's like the the business major and the or what is it? Business management major and the comp sci major fighting for the final bed in the homeless shelter. Yeah. Nah. Those are great. And then it's like CS degree 2025 and it's just a guy making McDonald's burgers.
yeah. The thing is like, you know, the skills with CS is like you can learn them online for free. Like you really can. Like if you have the dedication and like discipline to do that, you can.
Yeah.
And then also because it's so many people have this idea that like it's a get rich quick kind of degree, which it's not. Though this I'd say like the average salaries are, you know, definitely good for sure. But like it's not like where you just get the degree and then you just get like six figures.
Yeah.
Like and you get like 5 offers like waiting for you. You know.
No, it's definitely a hard path.
Yeah.
It's definitely a hard road. But I will say a lot of other jobs hire CS majors.
Oh,
like
I'm sure.
non CS. One I saw a YouTube video of this guy. He's already retired. He's like 30. He looks young. He's like in some place hiking in a mountain or something. He's like recording a video, and he actually had this was actually a pretty interesting watch because this got me interested in a whole new like I guess type of job that I never knew about. And they take CS majors. But he was a CS major and he worked at Lockheed Martin, right?
Uh-huh.
And the way everything changed for him. So his friend was in proprietary trading, prop trading. Have you heard of that?
I think so, yeah.
I think I don't know necessarily how it works, but all I know is when the market's bad, prop traders do really good. Like it's something to do with market volatility, and volume. But anyways, the story goes like this. So his friend, his like good friend from college, like calls him or not calls him, but like, you know, they stay in contact and his friend tells him, he's like, yeah, I got $1 million bonus. right?
Hmm.
And so this guy was like everything changed for him. He was like sitting at his job, right? Because he wanted to make more money, so he thought about doing maybe becoming a surgeon. But then he's like, oh, that's too much school,
Right.
and he was really contemplating his job. He worked at Lockheed Martin. He was really contemplating his job because there's like all these other avenues where people were making a lot more money for their time, and he didn't feel like he was making it. I think he said it was 2006, so he's making around 60, 70K, which is around 100,000
Right.
now. But he was sitting getting ready for his evaluation or whatever, uh, right, to pitch, to get his bump from like a 3% increase in salary to a 4%. And he's like, I'm putting in so much time into a increase which probably won't even get me $400,
Right.
and my friend over here is getting $1 million bonus, right? And so he like when he went to go talk to Lockheed, like to get the raise in salary and stuff, they hit him with oh, we're in defense. This is for the like this is more than a job, you know. You're doing this to protect your nation.
Yeah.
And to him, he's like, well, that's bullcrap because, you know, the CEOs get $15 million bonuses,
Right.
you know, all that. So he was like, you know what? I'm going to just go into something that makes a lot of money. And I guess his friend, like, recruited him into this prop trading firm. And he, like, when they're interviewing him, the reason he got it is because they asked him, they're like, why are you here? He said to make money. And they said, correct answer. Like, because
Yeah.
there's, I mean, in prop trading, they actually, I don't think they add any value to the market.
Mm. Yeah.
And I don't think it's day trading. It's different because firms do it.
Okay.
But yeah, he's retired now. He talked about like you can make 20 grand in a day. You can make up to 50 grand in a day
Wow.
doing prop trading. But
What year was that? Do you know? If it was around like 2006 or something, kind of makes sense if like prop traders like make money when the market's bad, because 2008.
well, I think he joined after the market crash.
Oh, afterwards.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think he joined more recently. But anyways, he also said like he was airing out a bunch of information. Like all the celebrities that say they're like for the little man or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, that's a lie. He's like, they'll do a performance for $1 million in front of 300 rich Wall Street guys.
Yeah.
Because prop trading is like a Wall Street kind of deal. And he was saying like the movie Wall Street. I thought this was funny. Like, have you ever seen it?
Yeah. Yeah. Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, Wolf of Wall
Yeah.
Street. Have you seen like the crazy stuff that happens in the office?
Yeah.
He said that's not far off from the truth.
Dang. Yeah.
And like the fact he thought of the fact that they're doing it in the 1980s was crazy, but like I don't know, it just gave me a different perspective because I was like, even though I'm a CS major, I could probably go into something that's not CS.
Oh, for sure. I mean, even like just if we look at like the broader like STEM engineering kind of degrees in general, like a lot of those people end up like not even liking doing like the technical work, and so they end up doing something more business side or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, so that's definitely like viable. But I think I think with CS majors, it's a little different. Like people go into CS like really wanting to do like CS, like doing like a CS job. I don't hear much about like people doing CS and then transitioning to like business. I remember hearing that more about like a mechanical engineer major or something like that. I'm not sure why that is though.
See, I don't, because CS is fun.
That's true.
Coding is fun, you
Yeah.
know. I mean, probably not when you get to a corporate job.
Yeah.
I don't think it'd be as fun then because you're usually. But I mean, the reality of it is, it's not like startups is where all the fun is at. I think.
Probably.
I think when you're working at like an actual job, like you'll definitely have a much more stable salary and everything, and probably better because most startups don't even work.
Yeah.
But you're probably working on some minuscule feature that not that many people are going to use.
Yeah, I can actually speak on that a little bit since I've actually worked for like a corporate company on like, code and stuff. It's like it is true actually, because like the tasks that I did are very like small little changes. Like most people would not even really notice, but I spent a lot of hours working on these things. You know, like literally just adding like an extra button on like a different page that like just makes the user have to click like 3 less times, and and that's a feature that I had to work on. So definitely like they're very small things. It's not like building a brand new application or building a brand new like technology or anything. So most of the time, it's not super exciting in the like actual job, because you're working on a very specific feature. You don't get to see the full big picture design of the software or of the product.
Here's a problem that I've heard. Like when you work for a big company, you work in a very narrow alley.
Yeah.
And so that's also not good because you don't grow that much either.
Yeah, that's true.
And then
you're working on the same thing all the time.
And then when you work for a small company, right? I'm not necessarily saying like a startup, but just a small company where you do a lot more things. Yeah. Right? Usually you're like super spread out, so you're also not learning that much because you have to do I don't know.
Well,
but I mean, I'd rather work for small than large.
Yeah. Well,
if the salary was the same.
Right.
Right.
So there's the idea of like, wearing many hats and getting to see a lot of different things. But then the problem is like, then you don't get, enough depth maybe into a specific thing where you can't be like, oh, I'm an expert in this. You can be like, oh, I've dabbled in that thing or whatever. Then you're like, okay, you can do a little bit of that, but you're not really an expert in anything. And so then when you get like mid-career, late career, you're like, oh, like I'm not an expert in anything.
I think that sounds like you're perfect for management then.
Yeah.
Jack of all trades. It's like, I could do everything.
Well, sometimes that's the route. I mean, it can be boring, but pays not bad.
But I mean, to come back, I think the reason why people go into CS wanting a coding job is because like coding seems like something that's so fun and innovative and stuff, but because I've also worked at internships.
Yeah, right.
But like in the day-to-day, it's not all sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Unless you're at a startup. I love startups.
Yeah.
Because you're your own boss. You work on features you want to work on, right? Now, whether or not those features solve problems is on you, right? You got to control yourself.
Yeah. Come with ideas.
Yeah, exactly.
Have good ideas.
Yeah. But Alex Hormozy actually posted a quote on this on startups, or not even startups, but just business owners in general, which I thought was funny. He said, starting a business is like trying to run a marathon that you're out of shape for, and you got to and you got to get in shape before the end of the marathon.
Oh, mm-hmm.
That's how he compares like business, I guess, to
marathon
running. Because it's like you're fighting an uphill battle, and you also don't like. Oh, also in the quote he said, and you don't know when the marathon ends.
Oh, yeah.
So you're fighting an uphill battle, not knowing what's ahead of you. You know, I think that's the analogy. He's got an interesting way with words, but I don't know. I guess I like startups because I think you're like exploring into the unknown.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you're on a ship and you're trying to sail to India, but maybe you land in the Americas.
Maybe.
You know, I don't know. It's fun, but that's why I got into CS, I'd say.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd really want to work like a software developer job.
Really? Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, I've had fun with it, but it's definitely not as fun as coding on your own or coding for a startup for like your own thing. It's definitely not as fun. Yeah. Or like you're not as motivated. You're doing it because you got to do it.
Yeah.
It's your job. But
yeah, have you seen sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, I was just saying it feels different than startup or like just even a personal project or something.
Yeah. Have you seen Prime Again?
No, I don't know.
He's on YouTube.
No.
He's a coder. It's actually pretty cool. I don't think he works for like a company or anything. He just like does like projects, and I think he literally makes a living off of YouTube, like just coding and posting on YouTube. He's kind of funny too. um, yeah, he's pretty hilarious. But I'd recommend all of y'all actually go check him out, especially if you're in comp sci,
No,
because you learn a lot.
I'll take a look.
But it was funny. He was at some influencer event the other night, like red carpet event, and I guess some influencer asked him. He's like, oh, so you code? So can you make me like a bot to get my views up? And he said something like, I feel like you're trying to get me into something I shouldn't be getting into.
Yeah.
But he was implying yes.
Yeah.
See, I think that's what actually, instead of startup, I think I got more into comp sci. I don't know, like, and I'll ask you your reason here in a second. But I think I got into it because I could build stuff that I could use that would make my life easier.
Yeah, you can do a lot of automation stuff.
Exactly.
Something I like about it too is like I don't need to buy a bunch of expensive equipment to like get started.
Yeah.
I can just like pull up my laptop and like build something really interesting or really cool with no investment or no like need for extra parts or anything. Because I look at a lot of like engineering majors and they can't really like build something that they want to build because they don't have the resources.
Low cost to
Yeah.
low barrier. Yeah. Honestly, I think like the way I think of comp sci is like it's art with function.
Yeah. I mean, even like the art of like writing a program, like it's like almost writing like a story sometimes almost like you have to have a structure to it. There's kind of like a beginning and an end. And yeah, so I can definitely see that. And there's like certain rules you have to follow, of course, just like with writing, like grammar rules with syntax. And it's kind of like writing like a story or a poem or something. Sometimes. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, it's I don't know, it's like, because when you think of like anything like with physics, so mechanical or aerospace or something, right? Like it's all very formulated.
Yeah.
But I feel like in computer science, other than just data structures and algorithms, which are just the base, and you can make your own data structure and algorithm really if you think about it. But like it's like a tree and it sprouts and there's no one way to do it. There's no formula to it. You know what I mean? So to me, I feel like computer science is more of an art than like a science.
Yeah, it's definitely actually on the more creative side.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Because there's no formula to it. There's just a problem, and then you have to come up with the solution yourself.
Yeah, I like that about it too.
Yeah.
Because, we don't, just the problem solving aspect of it is so much fun. Like just figuring out how to approach the problem and then solve it. Like it's pretty different from like other engineering where like, you have to do a lot of math and you can't just think about it like logically always. You have to do a lot of math to get to your solution as well.
Yeah, to me, it feels like when you're a little kid and you get a bucket of Legos, right? But you don't have like an instruction manual. You just have a bucket of Legos, a bunch of random colored ones. And it's like, okay, I want to build a house. Let me build a house. And you're doing it out of whatnot, scraps, different colored pieces, whatever. But there's no instruction sheet, right? And so you build this entire city, right? Your code, right?
Yeah.
But with Lego bricks and there's no like manual to do that. And if you want to reconstruct, you can.
That's a really good analogy. I like that one. That's really good.
I live my life through analogies.
Yeah, that's a really good one because it actually makes total sense because you have all these like skills and like tools that you have at your advantage, but you have no idea how to put them all together, and you have to kind of figure that out to solve the problem that you want to solve.
Yeah,
and so sometimes it feels kind of like a hodgepodge of things, but it eventually it'll work out in the end. It'll work and solve the problem.
My favorite thing is I don't know why this came in my head, but I was thinking about like a certain project I worked on like a year ago, which was like kind of just scrapped together, right?
Mm.
And that reminded me of, have you ever played that game, the Angry Birds Pigs Can Fly one?
Yeah.
That's what it reminded, where you have like the soda bottles and then the TNT and stuff. I kind of want to play that again. That was a fun game. But no, like coding, like especially like small projects and stuff kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah.
Cuz it works, but if you look at it, it's like
It's like, why does this work?
No, well, not only that, but it's like flimsy.
Oh yeah.
You have the soda bottle, right?
Yeah.
Just to get you through the rough patch and the TNT or whatever.
Right.
I mean, you cross the finish line, but
right.
it's
like barely works.
yeah.
Feels like
About to fall apart anytime.
Yeah.
No, that's pretty hilarious. Okay, so question. You can only so I want you to pick your top 3 jobs that are not in a CS related field. So like software development or something like that.
Top 3.
Top 3 that you could work if you were not in a CS field.
Okay. I would probably be interested in like systems engineering, I think that's fun, like to look at things from like a large overview perspective and like optimize something. I feel like that'd be fun. And
that's
then
one.
That's one. I was also interested in maybe doing something related to like audio engineering too at some point when I was younger, because I was like really into music and I was like, that'd be kind of like an interesting path to go, like doing that kind of thing. I feel like that'd be fun too. Third, I don't know. I'm not sure if I have a third, but those were 2 other things that I was definitely looking at before starting college, like things I was looking at doing.
Really?
Yeah. And then, I mean, I guess if I put a third, but it would never work out because like I need to make money.
Yeah.
But it would be like being like a professional like pianist or professional musician. But like for me, I don't think I would make enough like money from it, like to make a living.
I mean,
but
this is just a hypothetical.
Right, yeah.
Right.
So
Let's say
I would put that down too as my third probably.
let's say, okay, here's another good question. Let's say that hypothetically, money's not an issue. Does becoming a pianist become your first?
I think it probably would. I think it would.
Really?
Yeah. Something that's been interesting, like this like these past like 2 weeks, I haven't had a ton of work to do for school. I've really been like focusing on like the piano, because I had a piano recital yesterday actually for like the piano studio class that I've been doing this semester, and that was kind of like our final exam as well. And like I've been practicing like so much piano, like more than I ever have in my life these past like 2 weeks or so, like probably like 4 hours a day or something, like and like it's been like a blast for me. It's been
Really?
like it's been nice like having to step away from like a lot of the technical like CS stuff for a little bit and just like do something really creative for fun for like a lot of time.
Yeah.
And at the end I kind of like, I'm not sure if it would work out because I did kind of get like burnt out a little bit at the end there, maybe because I'm not used to like spending that much time on it. But it was like for the most part it was like really fun for me, and it was just like such like a creative thing to do while not being super stressful too, which was a lot of fun. So I think I could see myself doing that if money was not an issue.
Do you compose your own, like when you were doing it 4 hours a day, were you just playing like songs you had, or did you start freestyling at any point?
Not really freestyling. I'm actually I've written like one piece before for the piano, no words, just a piece.
Yeah.
But I'm actually taking a like music composition class next semester.
Really?
So I'll end up, I mean, I'm gonna have to write some stuff. So we'll see how that goes.
I might have to hear it. Hopefully you play at a.
I'll share it.
Rudder Theater.
Yeah, I'll have to share it once if it comes out good. I'll share it.
Okay.
If it's not good, I'm not gonna share it. But yeah.
Music composition honestly is like super interesting, because for how many people make music, you'd think everything would have already been done.
Yeah, I remember I've talked to my dad about this. When he was a teenager, the Beatles were really big, and he was like, and they wrote so many songs, and he was like, after this, that's it. No more good music forever. It's like they wrote everything that could be written, and obviously that's not the case. Like there's so much you can do with music, and I won't go into any like the theory stuff, but there's so many different like combinations of chords and like that you can do to make something different and like to make a new melody, even though, really for the most part we only work with like 8 notes, right?
Yeah.
8 notes, or actually 7 notes, but you can make so many melodies and different things by changing up the rhythm and doing all these crazy things.
So quick question: do you know why humans are so like infatuated with music?
No, I don't know like the psychology or anything behind it.
Me neither. I mean, that's
Oh,
what I was
okay.
asking.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
No, I don't know. I have a theory. I have a theory. I just said fury.
Theory.
I have a theory. No, I have a theory. I think it might be like trying to overstimulate your senses. You know what I mean? Like when we see something super colorful, we really like it. Like
Mhm.
fireworks, for instance.
Yeah.
Right? I feel like that's a way to overstimulate your what you call it, like your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
When someone's got on good cologne or you smell something good, right? That's overstimulating your nose.
Mm-hmm.
Music overstimulates your ears, so it's like entertainment, so to speak, because it's overstimulating your senses.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, yeah, music has really, I think, been a part of human culture like since the beginning.
Yeah.
It's been one of those things. The creative things, like those have always been like music, art, those types of, even like, well, not writing, but you know, I think those things have been part of like human culture. Like you can't have human culture without those things. They're such a important part. So I mean, there must be some reason why we love it so much. I don't really don't know though.
You know another thing I find interesting thinking about this, like the concept of rhythm.
Yeah.
That is, like, we don't think about that, but like thinking about that now, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Rhythm is weird, dude.
Mhm.
It's like a inner, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
do you think animals have rhythm?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, to some extent. Well, I'm not entirely sure. I think they do.
Or even if they do you think they're self-aware of rhythm? Because there's a like, from a biological like creature standpoint, I think there's like rhythm actually plays a huge part.
Mm.
Like when, especially like when you're boxing, when I'm boxing, um, rhythm is huge, right?
Yeah.
Like playing any sports, rhythm is huge. So I think that also correlate to like hunting.
Yeah.
I
Well,
feel like being in rhythm
mm,
like gives you a boost, so to speak.
yeah.
But
Even the way we talk. I mean, there's like a rhythm to how people talk, and I think that influences depending on like how you speak and like the exact rhythm or tempo you're speaking at can really like change what people perceive of like how you talk. Even if, you know, the two people say the same thing, depending on like the rhythm that you speak it at or whatever, could definitely like make a huge impact
yeah,
on how people perceive you.
it's pretty interesting. I don't know. See, the reason I don't know if animals have rhythms because I feel like if a dog heard music, they'd be start dancing. you know,
Mm-hmm.
like when we hear music, like we want to dance.
Right.
That's how it came to be. But like, if a dog hears music, he doesn't care.
Well, I think there's been like times I feel like I've seen like videos or something where like music can have like a calming effect on like animals. I'm not sure about like where they want to dance or whatever, but I think music can have like an impact on their emotions, like
Yeah.
and how they're feeling. I think even animals, too.
Yeah. All right. Well, I got one wrap up question for you. I was just thinking about it, and I think this honestly this is good. I don't think I've ever heard this question asked
All right. Well,
like in the existence of history actually.
oh boy.
So, um, it probably has been because it's honestly not that crazy of a question. But if you could have any myth be real,
Mm-hmm.
what myth would it be? So, for example, like ranging from Greek myths to
Mhm.
aliens, to interplanetarians or whatever you believe in, but just
Yeah.
like any fantasy, any like what myth would you want to be real?
Oh, that's tough. Man, I don't know exactly.
That's a good
I've
one.
never thought about that ever in my life.
Yeah, me neither. I just thought of that question. I was like, oh, that's probably a good question.
That's really interesting. I think like, I mean, I guess you mentioned this, but I feel like just because you mentioned it, like aliens being real would be really interesting. Like just the idea that there's like other intelligent life out there, you know.
Yeah.
And like for me, I'm thinking from like a religious perspective, like what would that mean for like from a Christian perspective, like what would that mean, like if they were also like created, you know, like would they be created like in the image of God, you know?
Yeah.
And like if so, then do they have like did like their own savior as well? Like that would be really interesting to think about, like I guess like the philosophy behind that. So I feel like that'd be really interesting. But
I don't see. I don't know how to answer this question.
yeah, I don't either.
Maybe like
that one's interesting to me.
maybe we're in the Matrix. You know.
Yeah, that's scary. You know.
But I mean, whatever we perceive as reality is reality.
Yeah.
But I think what's scary is like imagine like this is all one long dream. That would be scary.
That'd be super scary because like you've heard of like those stories where like a guy like goes to sleep and like he dreams like for like a month and he has like a whole like life and stuff.
You mean like he's asleep for a month? Or?
No, like it's like one night, but like in that dream that he has, it's like it lasts like a full month and it's very vivid.
I don't
Have you heard of those stories?
I don't know if I've heard about it in dreams. I know I've heard about it in like trips.
Oh, maybe I'm confusing that. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard about it in like trips where people I think there's one super famous Reddit story where this guy he was like living a happy life and there was a lamp in the corner of the room. And he looked at the lamp, right? And there was something off about it. And it's like I think it's one of the most upvoted Reddit stories of all time, actually. 'Cause he like went into deep detail about everything. But this he was like on the couch watching TV, his wife was cooking, like his kids I think already in bed or something. And there's something bothering him about this lamp.
Yeah.
And then I think it like turned upside down or something. And he's like, what? Or it was like 2D maybe. I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah.
And then he like realized like, yo, this isn't real. And then he like snapped out of it or woke up or something. And it was like, I don't know. And now it's actually used as a meme. It's like when you have a great life or so. Like the meme's like you have all this and that, but then you see the lamp.
Oh, yeah.
You know? But imagine, like, I wonder how that works on you psychologically.
Yeah, because you just built like a whole life for yourself, and then it just like that, it's just like gone, and you're like, it was all fake, you know? That's crazy to think about. Like, imagine our lives right now, like what we're living right now, just like tomorrow.
I'm scared, like, that.
That'd be crazy.
I'm scared one moment everything's just gonna like snap, and then it's like me just waking up, and I'm like, I'm like not actually me. I don't have brown hair.
Yeah.
Like.
You're an alien.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not even like a human, a human, you know?
Oh, that's crazy to think about. Wow.
Dude, oh man, we could go down such a deep rabbit hole now with like Black Mirror. Have you seen that show?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, the one that freaks me out the most, which I don't think, like I think in our lifetime something like this would be made. Probably the worst torture device of all time is the one where it's like every second and here is like 1,000 years in your brain.
I don't think I saw that one.
So basically, I think they're like interrogating a prisoner or something, or someone was sentenced to prison, But instead of prison, it's like, okay, when you're back, like when you come back from this, you don't serve anything, right? So you only spend 1 second in the real world or
Oh,
something,
but
or like 1 minute, but it's in your head,
mhm.
like because he was stuck in like some log cabin or something.
Oh, I have seen that one. Yeah, yeah, I
It
know what
was
you're
it
talking
was
about.
like 1,000 years or something,
Yeah,
and it's just him by himself.
yeah.
I think that would be scary, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Like I don't think can you recover from that, man? You probably
No,
can't. Like
no,
you'd go
no.
insane, and then you come back, you're just like a vegetable.
Yeah, actually, now that you bring that up, I wonder, like, let's say like we could live for like longer than like let's just say like 100 years, whatever. Like, do you think like our brains have like the capacity to like, cause people like have
Oh, with like memory and stuff.
yeah memory and things like this. Like, are you gonna like forget about what happened?
Honestly, I think we could like, I'm not sure. I think we can have up to like 100 years more memory.
Really?
Like I think our brain can support that. I
Interesting.
forgot they've calculated like how
Really?
many. It's not even terabytes. It's something.
Yeah,
It's
crazy.
huge. Yeah, but
Hmm.
no. Surprisingly, we do have a lot of storage capacity.
Hmm.
I
Okay,
think
that's
at least.
interesting.
Um, I
Yeah,
don't. Are you talking about like Alzheimer's and stuff?
kinda.
But I don't think that comes from like you have max storage.
Yeah,
You know, I think that's more of like a malfunction in the code,
yeah.
or that's just deleting stuff from the database,
Right.
right? You know,
Drop table. Yeah.
drop slash DT. No, but yeah, I don't know, dude. Black Mirror. I think they're actually coming out with a new season
Oh,
soon.
really? I
Yeah.
I've watched a few episodes, not like the majority at all, but like some of those episodes are really like interesting. Like there was one I think where just like everywhere there were like ads everywhere. I don't know if you saw this one. And it was like kind of interesting because like on the internet, right? Like we have all these like free services, but like you
Hmm.
have to watch ads. Like if you
Yeah,
have free Spotify or like free YouTube without premium. But like what if they just like did that for like everything in like your life?
that'd suck.
Yeah. Like I saw a YouTube video
I wouldn't
recently.
buy anything.
I saw a YouTube video recently where like someone was saying like what if like to get on like a subway or something. Like it's free, but then there's just like ads. You have to watch like ads while you're on the subway for like however long that ride is.
That would suck. I would honestly just pay the fee.
Yeah. Or like you could have free rent, but like you have to have ads in your apartment. Like
Ask.
I think there was something like that's like such a dystopian like
That
future.
that is super dystopian.
Yeah.
That is pretty bad. Have you ever heard of the series? It was on Netflix. It was a mini series. And it was it's like one episode from a bunch of different creators. It's like Love, Death, Robots or something like that.
I don't think I've heard of it.
Dude, they're all weird. They're like each one's like a different animation style and stuff. It's kind of like a scrapbook almost.
Hmm.
But there was one um I think it's called Lima maybe or something. So basically it was super interesting. Like the theme of this series is just robots in general
Hmm.
and just like stories. They're all like 20-minute episodes. But this one talked about like this robot was made by or this robot, it was like a pool cleaner, right?
Hmm.
And then the guy who owned this pool cleaner like added on to it and like it became intelligent.
Uh-huh.
So it started like building itself up.
Oh.
And at one point it became like the richest, like they thought it was human because it just kept improving itself, improving. Like even after the owner passed away and stuff. I mean, it wasn't like a bad robot or anything, right?
Yeah.
But it outlasted and it became like the world's most famous artist.
Hmm.
It was honestly like a crazy episode. Um, but it was funny because it was like, okay, this artist is about to perform his last act or something like that. And in the end, the last act, right? Like this is a robot that became sentient, everything, like had a wife at one point, I think,
Hmm.
rich, achieved everything. And the last act was the robot jumps into the pool.
Oh.
Like it was like a human at this point. Like it looked like a human,
Yeah.
everything. Jumps into the pool, breaks off everything and it just goes back to cleaning the pool
Oh.
forever.
Huh.
The last act, which I don't know, like I don't know if there's like a deeper meaning to it, but it was honestly a really like good watch because
Yeah.
it makes you think. Like I don't even know if they probably intended for you to think. I mean, I don't know if there's like any specific theme, so to speak,
Yeah.
but it's like I don't know. It was a really interesting episode though. I thought it was really good.
What do you think they're trying to say by like this robot's like giving up all the fame and all the fortune or whatever to just go back to like it's kind of almost like what we were talking about with that really like the smartest man in the world.
Yeah.
Like he achieved all this stuff and then he goes back to simpler things.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I haven't seen it in a while.
No.
So I'm definitely missing some points, but I'm sure the robot probably like missed the owner,
Yeah.
you know, a little bit and stuff like that. And honestly, it was just like it could have been just getting overwhelmed with like the material world,
Yeah.
you know, so it's like, okay, let me go back to cleaning pools
Yeah.
and not being sentient and just
Well, yeah. That's
the final act.
yeah.
Go back to pool cleaning. But all right, Myles, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on.
Thanks
This
for
was a
having me.
great episode. We got part 2 now.
Yeah.
Our first one was cut a little short, but got the most views, and hopefully this one beats part 1. So
Hopefully.
thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah. Thank
Yep.
you.
Y'all have a good one.